You're watching the Kop TV, the voice of football's most famous stand.
Salah to settle it in front of the Kop.
Welcome back to the Kop TV, the voice of football's most famous stand.
Make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe for more juicy content.
Listen to him and do exactly just that. Enjoy this video. Right then, welcome back to the Kop TV, the
Do it in
voice of
Spanish.
football's most famous stand. Bienvenido al Kop TV, el voz del club más famoso en el mundo. We actually have Mario who's joining us. Very beautiful
Mario, we're already recording, fella. You're all right, son?
We're rolling,
Hello,
we're rolling.
How are we?
I'm Sal.
Get your mic sorted, fella.
Yeah.
You met Shawnee last night, right? Shawnee, Mario.
Yeah,
I
saw
did
him.
outside the
I
ground,
saw him
yeah.
in the-
Mario,
Yeah,
Shawnee.
that's
Town and I are, right?
Yeah, good to
Yeah.
see you, bro.
Everyone meeting for the first time. How lovely
I
is
literally
this?
jump out from the bed now, but I'm fine. Yeah.
Yeah, good man. Thanks for coming, bro. But listen, this is Hot Kopics episode 38.
We're flying, mate.
are,
We're absolutely
flying,
booming.
flying.
We'd even get a well better guest now.
Yeah.
It was so shit when it was just me and
Yeah.
you. It's well better now.
The Furman now. Let's introduce Shawnee. I mean, he's been on the Kop TV loads of times before, to be honest, bro. But first time in the studio, Shawnee Lawson. Round of applause. First episode.
Proper fella, mate.
Yeah, proper fella. From the LFC Day Trippers. Massive shout out to the lads there, Gav, Keith, and Shawnee as well. Great to have you on. Obviously, James, as always, and Mario, Super Mario. How are we feeling, boys? Because the atmosphere is a bit...
I reckon all yous are dead depressed.
Yeah.
I reckon all yous are fuming. Mario?
I'm feeling gutted, mate. I'm depressed. I feel like. I mean, yeah, of course, it's just the second game of the season.
Yeah.
But, you know, still 4 points we drop in 2 games. And we know that every point you drop
Yeah.
for the rest of the season, it's dangerous. Premier League, the Manchester City, they don't give us a chance. You need to win every game. But this is the situation at the moment. We can't complain. We give everything yesterday. Darwin Núñez did a stupid mistake. Everyone knows that. But the thing is, we can't blame him. Young player, he's like a passionate player. He overreacted on the defender. So we can't blame him. He knows now. He will learn that.
I think we can blame him, Mario. I think we can. Like, yeah, Mario,
We can.
Mario, get on this. I'm a very similar age to Núñez. He's older than me, right? I think to
How old are
myself...
you?
So I'm 21.
Okay, now,
If I do not think...
I feel old.
Don't feel old, Mario. It's sad. I've got a brain from the 70s, mate. Don't worry
Jamie
about it.
Vardy's older than you, though, so
Who?
balance. Jamie Vardy is 35.
I don't even...
Vardy is 1987. He's 2 years
Oh,
older
wow.
than me.
I don't even know how to use Google and that, Mario. Don't worry, I'm proper H at me, mate. But the sort of point of what I was trying to say there is, you know, I don't just, like, in a football match, I can't just go over and headbutt someone. That would be wrong. In Sunday League football at any level, especially at the highest level when you know you're going to get penalised for that, I'd have more of a chance of getting away with it in a Sunday
For
League
sure,
match.
yeah.
Whereas in a
Happens
game
every
where
week,
you know
that shit.
VAR's a thing, you know the era that we're in. I'm sorry, you know, I would blame myself if I'd done that. I think it's more than okay to blame a player who's been playing at a good level now for a couple of seasons to have gone ahead and done that himself. I think what's happened is he's got a bit emotional. You know he's the main man. He doesn't want anyone to fuck with him. He's a very big striker. He probably wants to make centre-backs fear him, but there's ways of going about that, and I think he went about it the wrong way. So I get what you're saying. He's young and he'll learn, and even Klopp came out after. But I do think you can blame him on this situation.
Even when
Because if
you-
he's on the pitch, that's a different game, especially when Diaz goes and scores.
Even when we seen what we seen today, with like the clip that was doing the rounds, like it's run of the mill stuff from Anderson. He's got to get that every week now.
Yeah.
Look, imagine away to Atletico in the Champions League.
Yeah. Well,
That's
Alex
what
said
they're
it
gonna
before
be-
about Everton. They're sitting there thinking, yeah, man, when he comes back for us.
They're going to be pointing at you, snapping at you, and he's made a hook for his own back now because he set a precedence now by reacting, and he has to learn. I do agree with you. He is young. He's new to the league. It is going to take him time with that. But when we seen what was going on, like in that video today, because there was close-ups of it, and like you said, James, you're never going to get away with that these days. Especially with like shite bags like Taylor reffing games. You have VAR. You're just not going to get away with that stuff.
Yeah.
It's not going to fly. You know what I mean? So, look, we'll miss him for the next 3 games. He's back for the derby. I'd say Klopp might be
horrible.
But you know what's
I'd
mad?
say Klopp might
to the
even be
games
reluctant
without-
to throw him in the derby now because he'd be thinking.
This
Like,
is what I want to
against
bring up to the group. I'm not. So you know, last week I would say I sort of not took back any words that I've said about Núñez, but I gave him his credit. I was like, listen, he's came in, he's scored goals, and he's done this. Am I the only one who kind of disputes the fact that we played better when he went off the pitch? overall
That's
collectively
facts.
as a team.
That's facts.
I think we got more chances
Yeah,
as a
but at the
team. I
same
think we
time,
played more
we were
fluid.
forced
When the
to, though.
wingers started cutting in more, which
Yeah.
was the most frustrating thing in the first half, because you've got Salah all the way by the corner flag and Luis Diaz doing the same thing. And then you've got the midfield, which cohesively haven't been doing well anyway. The only time you can afford to play like that is when you've got Thiago being able to find those passes
We
through the
missed
players
him
on the
that's-
wing.
so much.
We
last
never
night.
had
We
that.
miss him.
So why
So
are we still
much.
For that
persistent?
reason,
But why,
we need
but
units.
yeah, what player is like
Wolves
Thiago?
signed for Wolves today.
Yeah,
Officially.
yeah.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
Why,
Mario.
Look, listen.
Okay, guys, I'm going.
50
Seriously,
mil.
why?
50
Why with
mil.
Wolves?
Because
Why?
we don't want him,
we
Mario.
don't want them.
We didn't
obviously
want
don't
him.
want them.
If we wanted him, we would have got him.
That's for sure.
But the thing is, though, who have we got stylistically who's like Thiago? There's
one.
not many in the world.
There's not many in the
no one
world.
in our team.
Yeah, yeah.
There's not many in the world,
And
but
I
you can
can see
find people
why-
with a similar
You kill
profile.
me, lads, honestly.
I can see why Nunez was getting actually frustrated, because watching the game, he was making those runs, but the ball was just going back inside, going back to the centre halves, out to the
One-dimensional.
fullbacks. Like, one who struggled, and he's been struggling for a while, has been Fabinho.
People need to talk about this.
And I think there needs to be a conversation had
He's-
about him.
like, do you know him?
History
Do you know him
yesterday.
and Rodri right now? For me, no comparison.
No, is
Over
he
the
on-
past like
yeah, yeah.
3 months,
On
4
form,
months,
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
fully
100%.
fine with saying Rodri's better than Fabinho right now. I'm sorry, like even towards the dead end of last season, I don't want to question a man's mentality. I don't like it when people do it to me. I don't want to do it to someone else. If you're Fabinho and you've got no one else who's going to be taking that number 6 role off you, just as a normal fucking human being, you're probably thinking, all right, I'm quite safe here. Like, say if you've got a target-based job in real life and you need to get certain numbers to keep that job, the second you get those numbers and the second you've
Take the
amplified
foot off
those
the
numbers,
gas.
exactly, you can take the foot off the gas for Fabinho. It
Complacency
feels like
a
he's
bit.
doing something very similar.
Yeah, I mean, I saw tweets last night saying Fabinho's got cement in his boots and joking about all that stuff, but he just held on to the ball for too long last night.
Too safe.
It was
Loads of
almost
players
as if
done that.
the fans knew what we needed to do. High press, energy, carry on like we did for the first 20 minutes, but the players didn't. Yeah, it was weird.
Nat was
And do
doing
you know
that.
what? The man of the match last night, I think you said it in the fan cams last night, bro. It was us. We were the man of the match last night. Yes, Harvey Elliott and I'd say maybe Diaz were 2 best players.
You think
Just-
Harvey Elliott?
I
I
thought,
thought
I
Elliott
thought
was
Elliott
brilliant.
was good, yeah.
Thought he was good.
I thought he was good. I thought he was good. I thought he was sound. What did you think about his performance,
He
Mario?
played good, but I won't say that he was the best on the pitch.
See,
I mean, Elliot,
who was
he
the
played
best?
good. Second half, Diaz. For the way he showed that he just wanted to win the game.
Yeah.
He scored that screamer, of course, a part of that goal. Come on, a part of that goal. That goal was fucking
Oh,
amazing.
no, it was fucking unreal.
He went round 6 players to score that goal.
6.
The little drag back that he had at the start. I was
Yeah.
copping. You know the seat that I was sat
Yeah.
in.
Mad
Beautiful
seat.
view.
That goal
Beautiful
was
view,
that
mate.
goal.
Unbelievable.
That's
to
why
watch
he gives
Liverpool.
you
But you
that,
had a
doesn't
good view for Zaha's goal as well.
Yeah. But that goal was like a multitude of things. So it started off with Trent and Nat Phillips kind of not getting that communication right. Trent not being on his toes again. I'm sick of it.
What's
Trent,
happened with Trent?
Absolutely sick of it.
yeah.
Like, I'm not trying to say drop him. He's too good
Yeah,
to be dropped. But
like, we're talking there about Fabinho. Trent is off it. Virgil has been off it.
Yep.
Robbo has been off it.
Yep.
Mo hasn't been great in the 2 games. I think we'd all agree.
No.
He's probably been the best.
Yeah, but even for his level.
But exactly.
But this
I
is
know, I
not
agree.
Mo at the
So-
moment. It's not the real
Yeah,
Mo.
that-
Yeah,
these
no,
Five
this
or
is the
6
point.
lads
These
who
are
aren't-
big hitters who normally you'd put your house on
Yeah.
to perform, and they're struggling.
I
So-
think the problem is just one. We are under preparation. We are still under preparation. So our condition, our physical condition is not 100% at the moment. It's probably 50, 60%, 75 maximum. This is the point. Because this is not our Liverpool at the moment. We're not running. We're not doing the same moves. I can feel that the players feel tired. Not tired because we played a lot of games. Tired of the preparation. And this is very important point that nobody mentioned. How many times we talk about Klopp's preparation? It's hard. It's tough. It takes time. I play football for 18 years, but of course not in Premier League. I play just football. I remember when we used to do the preparation. In the first couple of weeks, I felt like death on my leg. I couldn't run properly. After like 3-4 weeks, I start to fly on the pitch. This is the same point. We had like just 1 month break between the Champions League final and the start of the new preparation month and maybe 5 days, something like that. So we start to play straight away official games with the Community Shield. This is very important point to mention. So I think this game probably will be the last game that we not playing that as we know how to play. And the next game, hopefully, we start to show the real Liverpool because It's a problem now, man.
Well,
it's a problem without strikers.
The first thing I want to say, Mario, you mentioned about your footballing career. The only reason why you didn't play in the Premier League is because you were too good for it. That's for the start. That's for the start. Second point that I want to make. The second point that I want to make.
There's only one reason I didn't play in the Premier League.
Hey, listen, knee injury, lad. I've got 2 knee injuries. You know what I mean? It's why I'm not the UFC champion either. But here's the thing. I agree with Mario. I think it is a rebuilding process, but. Am I the only Liverpool fan who was putting us in the conversation for the league going into this season, or was all yous as well?
I don't think you can rule us out.
No.
Just
let me lead to me point. Just yes or no. League title this season, you put us in it.
Yeah,
you put us in it, and everyone would.
Sure, everyone did.
But now that you're seeing that it is a rebuild, we need to get these players into the team to where they know the system how to play and how that they're going to adapt to the system. That's going to take time.
Exactly.
On top of the injuries, which, let's be honest, as much as I can be
injuries,
ambitious
bro.
and say, we need to bring in a midfield and we need to do
main
this.
Players at the moment. 12.
But where's the investment going into to replace these? Nunes is already going to Wolves. Whether you like him or you don't, it still would have been a significant signing. We're not linked with anyone at the moment. Tuchemani went to Real Madrid. He was another link that we had. Clearly, even Klopp's thinking about like that holding number 6 role. Like, we need to get someone there soon. And it doesn't look like we're going to put that level of investment in. So I'm just saying, I'm not saying rule us out of the title race. We need the season to go on longer. You can't really determine that probably till November, December. But you can still have an idea on how it's going to go. And it doesn't look like we're going to bring anyone in who's going to significantly change these injuries. And we know we have an injury-prone squad. So I'm just saying we might need to adjust our expectations over time this season.
For that reason, yesterday, when Nunes did that stupid mistake, he needs to think, on the bench, who is on the bench on my striker position? Firmino, he's injured. Jota, same. Who's gonna play against United?
I think the issue was
who's gonna play.
He didn't think.
He didn't think. This is the point.
That was the problem.
For that reason, just don't overreact. This is the situation.
Is Firmino injured as well?
He's injured as well.
He was taken out of the squad last
He's
night
injured.
as a precaution, so I think he'll be back for United. I think he'll
Firmino.
start against United. And it'll be Diaz, Firmino, Salah. Before kickoff yesterday, there was a tweet that went round, and again, I don't want to make it harder for Trent than it already is. He's not playing the best at the minute, but there was a tweet that went round where he's sent a DM to a girl whose boyfriend is Will Ennie, the big YouTuber.
Oh, Will Ennie.
And with a waving emoji,
With the wave.
and he's taken a picture of the girl going like that, embarrassed, showing the DM from Trent. This was at 4:00 yesterday.
I saw
3.5 hours before kickoff, or 4 hours before kickoff, bro. Got baited out. He said, Trent, you're messaging my bird. I tell you what, you're in my fantasy team. If you get 10 points, I'll let her see. She'll show you her nan.
That's a belter response.
Yeah.
That's a belter. Will Ennie is a legend for
I'll
that
show you
response.
that.
That's such a... Oh, laddie.
Who is that YouTuber? I don't know.
He's trying to get birds, lad, you know?
But then Trent deleted the DM as well, and Trent's had a bit of a record, Shawnee.
Stop saving Trent.
Trent, you fucking... Do you know Trent was my mate? Yeah, I'd just be like, you are such
You're
a
a helmet,
dickhead.
lad.
You're a proper helmet, lad. Like, listen, she's probably dead fit in that.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind. But imagine Trent's inbox.
Oh, man.
He doesn't need to be
And that's
sending
him as well,
DMs
bro.
out.
That's definitely him.
That's him.
That's
How
him.
didn't the pregnant bear teach him any... Like, that's what I'd be saying to you. I'd be like, come on,
I let him
lad.
away with that. He was about
Oh,
19,
no,
18.
of course. But he's still really only a kid. Like, I know he's
23,
23, 24. He's a bit more mature.
Listen,
he's still
mate,
going to mess
Trent
with
could
birds.
literally just flick left on his inbox, and I'd
But
say
that's
this
what I mean, lad. Do you know
easy
how many
pickings
birds
there.
in Liverpool love
Easy
that, lad?
pickings. Don't be going for a fella who has a fucking million subscribers on YouTube.
Yeah.
Asking his
He
board to
probably
come
didn't
around.
know.
Yeah,
Nah, but Will
Probably
Ennie,
didn't know.
that's one of the most go-to responses.
That is a sick reply, to
that
be
I could
fair.
do.
We'll get that tweet
Because he
up
never
as
even
well.
got angry and he didn't need to. He just needed
No.
to, like, it's just like a little teddy, you know what I mean? That's
He's
funny.
embarrassed him. And then Trent didn't have a good game. And when Ruby sat next to me last night, I said, have you seen this? Because obviously she's close with Trent.
Of course.
She was like, he's got a beard as well. What's he doing?
But
And apparently the
that's
girl
like
looks
another
really like his
conversation.
girlfriend.
That's
but-
another conversation. Like, you know, when you've got a football player who's doing all these things, they live a different lifestyle to everyone else. They're what you would call a high value man. So therefore, they're sound to do that because they're providing. Hey, that's not my opinion. That's not my opinion.
That's just the
It's not
truth.
mine,
Don't make
yeah.
the rules, James.
Don't make the rules, you know what I mean?
But,
Don't make the player hate the game.
But Trent, I mean, a few hours before kickoff, it's not the time, Trent. Like, wait for the game to
do you know
finish.
what? No. He can go and message Will and his birds if you wish. Whether that's morally right or not, it's not illegal. All right? You're not going to go
But
to
just
court.
before kickoff?
No, listen, he might have had a moment. Come on, boys. We're
In
all
the
fellas.
changes.
You know what I mean? You never know. You never
This
know.
is
He might
normal
have had-
things when you're young, bro. Come
Yeah,
on.
come on,
He's a millionaire.
testosterone's
He's
through the
24.
roof.
Anyone knows about him. Of course, he approached
Yeah.
with the gears. Like, he
That
doesn't
makes
care.
me think,
Well, here,
how
hold
many
on,
has he
hold on,
done
hold
that
on.
we haven't seen?
Was
Yeah,
it-
obviously, lad.
It's normal.
Obviously.
What was it? Just a waving emoji?
Just,
Listen, I'm sure there's DMs that if they went out
Maybe-
about
It's
me,
nothing
I'd be
wrong. I
Maybe
mean,
it's just saying hello. Maybe it's just
Exactly.
saying
Hello.
How's it going? Like,
How's it going? You might fully just be curious on how she's doing on a day-to-day basis.
Just
you might
looking
just
out.
be dead nice.
Maybe.
He
But
might
anyway,
just
it
be
was
a
funny when
lovely
I
fella.
saw it.
maybe Robbo had
It
his
was funny
phone
when
on the
I
bus.
saw it. Yeah,
Who
Could
knows?
have been a prank message.
could have been. Could
It's-
have been.
but what I'm saying is, I don't think that necessarily contributes to his bad performances.
No,
His bad
of course not.
performances-
absolutely not.
It kind of looks like, do you remember the season where we had loads of injuries? Kind of seems like a bit of that. The harmony of the squad's a little bit gone. Mane's now gone as well. That's a
Yeah.
huge player that you've lost. And fucking hell, we could have done with him yesterday.
Defo.
Mane
Trent-
got goals when we weren't playing well, didn't
He
he?
scored
That was
9 in a
sort of-
row against Palace. In my preview,
Well-
the Palace fans said, "No Mane, you're just Everton," basically. And last night, I'm not being funny, but we were. He was right.
You just have it so
It's
without
so
money.
true.
That
It's so
was a
true.
massive
Yesterday-
insult.
No,
And then
Everton-
yesterday,
that
Everton are shite.
nah, they
let's
are
be
shite.
honest.
No,
Yeah,
they
they
would
are,
concede a
but-
3 against Crystal Palace. That was a bit of an insult.
He scored 8 goals, I think, in a row against Palace.
9.
Or 9.
Nine.
9 goals
Here's
in a
the
row.
debate.
Unbelievable.
Here's a
stats.
question for you, lad. You all know how much I love Mane and stuff like that.
I don't know how much you love money.
You
Do you?
should do,
I
Mario.
know, I know.
You should. I was going to say, we're not really friends if you don't know that, Mario.
Of course, I know that.
Do you know, but you know what I was going to say, though, is, do you know, before Salah had that great start to last season, where he was like Ballon d'Or worthy, I feel a lot of people would put Mane, if not above Salah, on the level of where Salah was before he had that amazing spell. Not statistically, but performance-wise. Obviously, Mane took the second half of last season. He was the one who absolutely smashed it, got us all our goals, won the AFCON, won the FA Cup, brilliant.
Yeah.
I'm asking the question, do you know all of that, the news and the rumours around Salah when the contract weren't going to be signed? Obviously, it was when he was playing well. But why weren't the same energy approached with Mane? Why weren't
'Cause he
Liverpool
wanted to leave.
Wait, though, why weren't Liverpool fans jumping on the bandwagon in the same manner for a player
good
who's
question, yeah.
arguably just
I'll
as
tell
important,
you,
if not more?
that's an easy one. Because Mane's agent wasn't on Twitter acting the fucking dickhead.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah,
it.
that's
Yeah.
true.
And
Salah's was.
from what I believe, Klopp actually said that Mane had approached him long before the end of the season,
Yeah.
saying, "Look, I am going to try something different." This is before we only won the 2 trophies and not
Yeah.
the quad. So
And just he wanted
He's
to
mo-
leave.
I
He
think his
wanted to
mind
leave. That's,
is mo-
that's the whole point.
his mind was made up, maybe.
Unfortunately.
No, I get what you're saying.
Nah,
I do
you're
get what you're
fully
saying.
right.
The Bayern
He
Munich
did probably
reps
wanna
came
just go.
over to his house maybe 4 months before he left to propose the deal.
Yeah.
And then he said as soon as he spoke to them, he realised that was the club he had to go to.
And I'd imagine Klopp probably would have
Respected
trusted
that.
but trusted his ability to maybe turn him
real
around, because he
superstar.
did say, even as far as when they were doing the bus tour around Liverpool, he was trying to talk Sadio into hanging around, and he offered him a contract. I don't think it was a money thing with Mane.
No,
It's
it wasn't.
just-
It wasn't.
It's
It's just a new challenge in the life.
100%. Like,
He
he's gonna
wanted
go and
to
play in the
change the
Bundesliga now.
country, new challenge.
And
That's
let's
it.
be honest,
It makes
Sadio
sense as
Mane
well.
doesn't owe us a single fucking thing. He
He's
was
a
a brilliant
legend.
saver.
He's
And
a legend for me.
we will miss him this year big
Absolutely.
time. And last night was the first example where you're not playing well and it's not going well. And Mane used to just snatch at a half chance, and it was 1-0.
I would have played him through the middle last night.
Oh,
That's where I would
This
have
is
liked
what
to
I
have
wish
seen
we
him.
got to see
As a
more
false
of.
nine.
I felt
as
like
a-
we
as a
sold
nine.
something.
As
when
a,
we
yeah,
got Mane.
Out and out
he's
nine.
not a proper 9, so
But the way he was scoring last year,
Last year.
making them runs from maybe the left side straight to the centre, them balls that Salah was putting in for him, he was unbelievable, man.
I know.
And I don't think we realise how big a loss it is until games like last
I
night.
will argue, and I'm going to argue because his first couple of seasons were unreal. But that last 6 months at the club was. Do you remember like Coutinho, like last 6 months?
Oh,
at
he
Liverpool?
was.
Boss.
And he was.
Oh,
fucking-
He looked like he was going to be one of the
Unbelievable.
best players in the world.
yeah,
He was the best
that's why
player
when
in
he
the
left,
world in
that's
that.
what upped his value
that
probably from
From
a couple
like
100 million.
September 17 to
Yeah.
January 18, he was
How many
unbelievable.
assists?
Didn't Coutinho
Goals.
score a hat-trick in his last home
Yeah.
game for Liverpool, didn't
Yeah.
he? In Champions League, wasn't
No, he scored a hat-trick against Spartak Moscow in Champions League. 7-0, we won. He scored.
it? I think he went after that then,
Yeah.
didn't he?
Yeah.
He might have. But the point is, I think Mane had a very similar
Didn't he?
resurgence
No, it was a
at the
hat trick
end of his
against
Liverpool
Bournemouth.
career.
Sorry, bro. Was it a Bournemouth hat
Against
trick?
Bournemouth.
No,
No, that
Oh,
was
the
Mo
hat trick.
Salah.
But then Coutinho did that mad goal where he went round everyone and put it in
Yes.
the bottom left in that white and green kit.
We won 4-0 that game,
Yeah.
and he scored just once, yeah.
But we could have done with a Coutinho last night, if I'm honest. That 17-18
Yeah,
version of him that's the number 10 that
That's
gets
what
on the
Fabio
ball.
Carvalho.
If that volley had
sure.
went in,
This
mate.
is why we need to. This is why I think we dissect a bit of about the positives, because Harvey Elliott, whether you thought he was brilliant or you thought he was good or you thought he was subpar, he was still one of our best players on the pitch. Fabio Carvalho, when he came on, he had that great chance. He made an impact. He was getting stuck in. He was pressing like there was no tomorrow. Exactly what you want to see from a team that's looked very lacklustre over the last 2 games. And then on top of that, do you know even things like just Nat Phillips playing? I'm not going to lie, he done sound for me. He done sound. I wouldn't want to see him again starting. I thought we were much better when Gomez came on. Yeah. But he was sound. And actually we'll go as far to say he was better
than
Van Dijk
everything.
in the game.
Yeah.
This is Phillips.
And the thing that I didn't like about Van Dijk, if you watch their goal back...
Nat 7 Phillips.
Yeah. And he rarely makes mistakes. But if you watch their goal back, I'm blaming Virgil because he walks over to Zaha. Did you see?
But
run over and scare him.
Yeah,
Put your leg out. Make it yourself in... Like,
Virgil gets annoyed if he has to do his job.
Yeah,
I think that's
Virgil, for me, because he knows that players are
that
intimidated by his size, his power, everything. It's like he doesn't sprint to go over to the man. He jogs over.
Why he doesn't sprint?
Exactly. This is my question. If you watched that goal last night, and I swear to God, I looked at it when, like 2 a.m, I was like, right, let me watch the highlights. If he'd sprinted all with everything across to Zaha, that's getting blocked, bro. Yeah.
Devil's
and
avocado.
he jogs over and then puts his body as if say, go on, shoot. And he shoots and fucking scores.
Maybe he thought that Zaha can go like 1 against 1.
Yeah.
Maybe for that reason he
But the time Zaha had to pick out that corner. And no one's running at him. I just couldn't believe it.
Relying on Alisson too much, in my opinion. Yeah,
we can't have Alisson save us from one-on-ones every single time. He's going to concede some.
Yeah, like the Zaha one.
If I was Alisson last night, I'd be going, lads, where were you there?
But he was fuming the whole game, Alisson, because he knows that
I
he can see
that,
better. But the sort of point is,
they had 1 shot, 1 goal.
Devil's avocado when it comes to the Alverge. Do you know, like, someone proposed the idea that Verge, since his injury, obviously still really, really good and still the best centre-back in the world, but he's not got that sort of explosiveness, tenacity, and he doesn't really take those risks of making those explosive runs where he needs to catch up to Zaha, because we know he was very, very quick before that injury. Do you reckon there's like that thing in his mind where he doesn't want to overdo anything, he doesn't want to get that injury again, so he plays a bit more safer?
Man. We can't afford to have a player that has that mentality.
But do you think that could be a possibility? He's just playing a little bit more reserved.
You think he's still thinking about the injury? Yeah. If I try to run, if I try to sprint, maybe I'm going to hurt my...
Even if he's not thinking about it, trust me, it happened to me. I have the scars to prove it.
Probably it's true.
It's a subconscious thing.
Like on the surface, he can say, nah, I'm sweet, look at me.
But that's a subconscious thing. He'd be doing that without even... He'll just have it in his head. I can't... And to be honest with you, if you actually look back to last year, that's why Kanate was the perfect foil, because he has that recovery pace. Even Matip is quick enough.
Yeah,
Matip is quick enough. It's what makes him so good, but it's sometimes his downfall. It's the chink in his armour. He can be just too casual sometimes. He can just be too casual. Yeah, exactly.
Mitrovic,
and I think
leaving the leg out.
I think sometimes, like, good defenders make strikers, attackers make decisions. They force them to make decisions, and he can do that by you see him like he's kind of. It's like a lion chasing down a gazelle. Yeah. It's just kind of like, I'm going to wait for you to make the mistake and bang, I'll let you. Exactly. But I just think he's been off it. Virgil's been off it. It was the sloppiest I've seen him against Fulham, and I just think it wasn't there last night. Yeah. But
because when
even
works,
though he's still not at his best, I still think he's best.
You make a great point, and I'll give you an example of your point. We played Tottenham 18-19. Musa Sissoko is in on goal, right? He's in on goal. All Virgil does is go on, I'll jog with you. I'm jogging with you. I'm showing you on your left. Go and have a shot.
On the right
if you've got the balls, go and have a shot. Yeah. What happened? He smacks it over. That's
good.
That's IQ good. That you've never seen before. That's unbelievable. But then he should defending.
Know on the same boat with Zaha. He's probably going to slot this.
Exactly. And he's on his strong side. He's got his body positioned to just curl it in that corner away from Alisson.
It's got glossed over with Nunez because of the headbutt. But did nobody notice what he did in the box? In the second half.
Who, Nunez?
Yeah. What? He cuts in, their centre-half slides, and it hits off his hand. He has the fucking ball at his feet, and he's asking for a handball. Shoot!
I noticed
that.
Yeah.
Fucking shoot!
That. He's
screaming for a handball, and the ball is at his feet. Like, literally, he's 8 yards out in goal, and he's calling for a penalty. Fucking shoot! Play on! I couldn't believe it when I seen it. I was going...
He needs to have someone put his arm around him who's a very good translator and say, listen... that can never happen again. Here's what we're going to teach you. Whilst you can't play for the next 3 weeks, here's the things we're going to teach you in training. You can't not play to the whistle. Play to the whistle. If you think it's a penalty, have your arm up and appeal, but just shoot whilst your arm, put it in the goal and then ask the questions later. We're going to wind you up in training. We're going to pinch the back of your legs. We're going to stand on your boots when you're going up for a header, give you a little elbow, pull your hair, because that's legal now, apparently. No one gets a foul or a card for pulling hair like Cucurella the other day. Romero, unbelievable that was.
That game
but
was
if for the next 3 weeks in training, this is what we need to do to him. And for someone, let's say Nat Phillips, we go, right, every training session for the next 3 weeks, wind him up. So we're mentally preparing him for, because let's face it, if out of all the defenders that we've got, Nat Phillips, in my opinion, is your stereotypical English centre-back that is going to kick you, elbow you, jump on you. Yeah. So in that, he's going to have a headband on him after 10 minutes because he's got a cut in his head. I think it's the only time Nat Phillips didn't break his skull last night for Liverpool.
It's the bottom, Tony Adams.
In the next 3 weeks, if I was Klopp, I'd say Milner, wind him up, get him angry, and then he knows that when he comes back into that cauldron of fire, by the way, which is the derby, early kickoff, at Everton, they are going to be vying for your blood. Not only their players, their manager is going to be telling the players to wind him up, and the fans. Every bad touch that Nunes has in that derby, booing him. So he needs to get in his head. This is no easy ride, bro.
This is not the Portuguese league.
Exactly.
You're
not.
give Suarez a bell, but that's probably the worst one in the world.
This is the worst example.
Hey, Louis, what do you do? Just point them.
Just be racist and bite him.
Yeah, just point them.
Don't take example from Suarez.
Yeah, don't worry. I was just going to say, give Suarez, no, maybe not. Maybe just leave
He's
Suarez.
too much.
But do you know what? He could do with genuinely having a call with someone like Ian Wright or Shearer, who are old school, tough number 9 centre forwards, right? He was not going to understand a word they're saying.
Imagine
but
Alan Shearer speaking Spanish.
someone, yeah. Hola, good.
You were right.
But what
this
I'm
is the top
saying
goal
is,
scorer of the Premier League talking here.
Yeah, literally. He needs a few more goals, like Shearer as well. But he needs someone, whether that's Milner, Thiago, just to wind him up in training.
I absolutely agree with your points.
I agree. He's even snatching at his chances.
Yeah. The thing is, you don't even need to
like
do
he had
that.
a shot yesterday, it bobbled and hit the post. I'm like, how is he not connected with that volley?
Needs to do
He's
is
rushing
let
at
Nunes
it.
know that's not good enough.
Yeah.
That is not the way you
I think he
behave
will.
at this level.
Yeah.
He said
You don't
that
even need
already.
to do what- yeah,
Didn't even look at him as he walked past.
Good.
And Pep Linders either.
Good, because I want Nunes to go home and feel shit about that. I would.
It's not often our players have let us down like that, though, is it?
Bro, when was the last red card we got?
I think Robbo
Tell me.
maybe.
The last red card,
Robbo.
Robertson against Tottenham last season.
And that was even suspect.
But that was a different
Bro,
kind
how
of red
Kane
card.
should have got sent off.
And
That was a challenge.
man.
Yeah, but still, though, Robertson still should have got.
But
sent
apart
off
from
as well.
that, when was the one before that? Maybe Mane at City?
Before Robertson. No.
Nah, we don't get
Hendo
many.
I was at Southampton. Hendo gets sent off, gets 2 yellows.
Yeah.
We win
But
the
by
game.
the way,
But there's
Yeah, we
one
don't-
tops a season.
Yeah,
There's
but
one
maybe
at-
for 2
Yeah.
yellows, not for
Probably
something
less
stupid
than
like
one.
that.
There you
Probably
go.
less than
Suarez. That was
Yeah.
the last time we did that shit. When Suarez was trying all that funny business.
Do you know what I was going to say? You sparked a thought in my head when you were talking about alternative methods we can use to get into Nunes' head to make sure he's not doing these mistakes repeatedly. I'm just going to go back to Trent for a second because I keep seeing him doing the same mistakes and I'm thinking, surely they're doing this because I'm stupid. I'm a YouTuber who thinks he knows what he's talking about when it comes to footy. I just love footy, lad, so I'll talk about it. That's the way I move. If they haven't tried getting Nunes, Nat Phillips, Kanate, all on the back post against Trent, even though he wouldn't be able to beat them in most duels because they're just bigger than him. That's just the way fucking physics works. But I don't understand how
Have something
they're
else.
not doing that persistently to where Trent looks at Mitrovic and goes, right, I know how to handle this. Or I know how to give myself the best possible chance in this
Agreed.
situation.
We spoke about this last week.
Even if you go over my head from the back post,
Yeah.
I still know I can put you off. I still know I can do these things. So
Well, whilst you're in the air, move back, put him off balance.
just put him off.
Because if you
Just
can't beat
put
him in the air, you got to
fucking
have
off.
something.
Defo, now this is the sort of alternative I was going to. I think Klopp has had to have been doing those things with him, surely. Because, again, we're YouTubers. Like, it doesn't mean we know everything. Obviously, he's doing this stuff. Is it a decent idea with the lack of midfielders that we've got, with the lack of chance that it looks like we're going to go and get a new midfielder? Is it a good shout to move Trent into the midfield and maybe go with the man who you've been putting at right back week in, week out? Started Nat Phillips over this centre-back who we think is a centre-back in Joe Gomez and put him right back
I don't
instead.
think that's
who
the worst
last
shout,
season,
man. There's
anytime I
logic
saw him at
behind
right
that.
back, very, very, very sound. Very sound. And that's why I wouldn't be opposed to it in a time like right now.
The question is just one. If you put, I love that idea. I mean, for me, Trent is He's not a defender. He's a midfielder. He's got the vision.
I think he
He's
pulls
got the
strings.
shots.
Yeah. But the thing is
But
with that,
who's gonna play on the right back then?
Gomez.
Like, yeah, do you like the way we were saying that we didn't have a
He's not
Thiago
so good.
yesterday? Do you like the way we were saying
Gomez is
we
a
didn't have
central
Thiago?
defender, bro. He's
Well, if you
quick.
like- if you look
He's
at-
got pace, but he's not good on the right back. I think Gomez. He played a couple of games last season at good level on the right, but I think naturally he's not a right
But
back.
in a tough time, though, Mario.
Put Trent
times calls
as
for
a
desperate
midfielder.
measures.
I agree with you.
Why not?
Absolutely.
What's your
See,
opinion?
Because defensively he's not too good.
yeah, but the
Bit
thing
of
is with
Trent.
as a midfielder, you need to be defensively aware as well of what's going on behind you,
No, of course.
and you need to think about it when what Trent's best asset is what is delivery,
Passing,
is distribution.
yeah.
When he gets the ball out right back, he sees everything. From there to there, it's a completely different ball game playing
You've
midfield.
got your back
in the
on the
Premier
line.
League.
There's nothing.
course.
You
Definitely.
know, there's nothing behind
Yeah.
you. Basically, it's an easier
I think there's
position to play.
there could be games where, say for example, Bournemouth's a Saturday kick-off, and the next week, the next game at Anfield,
Yeah.
we're gonna have a lot of the ball.
No, but you know what?
Maybe you could throw him in there.
Yeah, no, I hear what you're saying, Jordan,
Yeah,
but
it's just you need like Trent. He is still young. You forget that,
Yeah.
but we're seeing it, and the frustrating thing is we're seeing him making the same mistakes.
I get
Yeah.
on this though. This is what I sort of think about Trent. I think if you put him into midfield, the one aspect of his defensive game which is sound is his pressing and his sort of being able to run at players and win the ball that
Yeah,
way.
yeah.
What he doesn't do well with is the jockeying against wingers. When he can cut inside and he can beat them for a man.
Eze smashed him last night.
Oh,
Eze was
absolutely,
class.
Eze's class.
teared them all
Yeah,
over.
he's very
That's
good.
absolutely-
Very
wicked,
impressive.
But
I didn't know him.
what Trent
He's wicked.
would see less of if he went into midfield is that one-on-one where he'd have to jockey. He'd also see less of having to stay at that back post. Joe Gomez at the back post. I'd be much more comfortable seeing him back post against all these
I
big
would.
strikers, which
Me
is how
too.
most small teams play against us. If you want to play against City and Chelsea and Barca and Real Madrid, put Trent at right back and let him pull strings from that position. But when you're playing against teams who are solely there not to play football and get the result they need, which is why Palace deserve loads of credit because that's what they done. They pissed us off and they got the result they wanted.
This is the only way to stop Liverpool.
This is the only way. So
You
that's
put
why
your buses,
get
that's
Trent,
it.
Get Trent more further up the pitch, get a more defensive outlook at the back, and then get some experience around Trent to where that's not going to be an issue because it's still the system and it's still a better aspect to where he's doing the things that he struggles with most. He'll be doing less of that. So that's why I would not be opposed to seeing Trent going further up the pitch.
Well,
Because
when-
you're right, Shawnee, his defensive game isn't great. But the main things that's really bad, he wouldn't have to worry about as much if he was a midfielder.
In Gerrard's book, when he was the manager of the under-18s at Liverpool, he said, and he only mentioned one player, he said, Trent Alexander-Arnold, he's going to be the one that's unreal. He's a great midfielder. He'd never called him a defender. He said he's a great midfielder. He's going to come in and set the Premier League alight.
Coming from one of the greatest.
If Gerrard is saying that he's a great midfielder, then surely
So-
we need to see that.
But it's because
we
he's
need
so
to see it.
important
At
to
least.
right back,
If you-
but that's why we shouldn't
If you
fear
look
change.
at Trent's average position when we're in possession,
It's basically midfield anyway.
yeah.
Exactly, and
And
then
even
someone drops
City
in.
now are adopting that this year. When they're in possession, you see Cancelo and Walker. Like this is the new thing now of like inverted fullbacks.
Yeah.
But when you say inverted, they're just basically an extra outlet in the midfield. I
Yeah.
get it 100% with Trent, and I think the older he gets, you could see him there in the six, just
Yeah.
spraying balls like Alonso.
Yeah.
I think that's what he would be good at. Look at in an Alonso role, but I couldn't see him on the right of a tree. I don't think it'd suit him, to be honest with you. But there is games where, like for example, this Bournemouth game coming up, you could kind of experiment. But I don't know, like the injuries just seem to be piling up. And normally you hear, oh, he's back next week, he's back in training. I don't know when any of these fuckers are back.
No, yeah, this is the one thing I hate about Liverpool and injuries. They
They
never
don't-
fucking
they don't
tell
let
us.
us know.
The ambiguity is
They don't like
They
telling
never
us,
fucking tell
though.
us.
No,
man.
they
It's
lie
just like,
us
just
all.
let us know.
Canate's out for a while.
Van Dijk was like,
A
oh, he's
World
going to be
Cup
back
he-
in January. Oh, no, he's going to be back in March. No,
Yeah.
he's not going to be back till the end of the season. But it's Sam, though, because he'll be back soon. Like, fuck off.
Same situation with Thiago Alcantara last season when he gets injured against Palace. They say like 2 weeks. He was like 2 months.
2 months.
So they lie us.
He's missed like 60 games for Liverpool. I think he's played
It's
about
crazy,
60
man.
as well.
More than a half games he was available.
Sturridge was the same.
I
He
know.
missed more games for
I
Liverpool
know.
than he played. And I don't want to get into that. We were talking about yesterday. For us to have luxury, I don't think you can have luxury players anymore. And at this stage, and all of us will go around the room and we'll give all the superlatives to Thiago. I said yesterday he's top 5 Liverpool players I've ever seen
Yeah.
in on the pitch, technically. for
Technically,
Liverpool.
probably the
But
best. Probably the
If
best.
he's
Yeah,
injured
yeah,
all
you
the
could
time,
argue,
then
The best.
what can we do? If he's injured all the time, what can we do?
We can't count on him. This
He's
is the point.
31.
And one thing Klopp did really well last year was rotate, but he hasn't even got that option.
Hasn't got the option.
It's
this
been
year.
taken away from him
Curtis
really
Jones
does.
injured as well. You know, he could have played. I think
But I don't get like
the next transfer window is all about the midfield for me.
I was looking
I
at
reckon
about
we're
the
going to need
midfield.
like a champion, like when we won the Champions League, a window. Like,
Look at what Real
when we
Madrid
lost the
did, bro.
Champions League and we bought Fabinho, we bought in everyone. I think we need.
And that's the
another
thing.
one of
That's the
those.
annoying thing that like the talk is Bellingham. Yeah, okay, fair enough. We'll see how that pans out. But even with Bellingham next year, we're going to need another because Milner not getting any younger, Hendo not getting any younger.
Keita is going.
Fabinho, Thiago, both 30
contract
now.
up in the year. Oxlade-Chamberlain,
He's going as well.
worse than useless. Like, you know, and people turn around going, why can't we fucking sell Oxlade-Chamberlain? He's a year
injured.
left on his deal. He's on about 160 grand a week. Good luck
I
getting
love
anyone
Owner
to
of a
pay him
football
money.
club, why would you want to get him?
I love him.
You're paying
Exactly.
external wages for a player
Ox
who's
as
not
a
going to
player.
be there.
Exactly. So we've kind of pardon the pun, hamstrung in that situation.
Sure, he's a dickhead, isn't he?
We are hamstrung in that, like in the way that we can't really get rid of these fellas, and we need to get one out to bring one in, and we should just go and fucking buy one now. Everyone's losing their shit about this Nunez fella.
Yeah.
If we wanted him, we would have got him. Let's be honest. Look what happened with Luis Diaz. Spurs went in, agreed a deal, and Liverpool were like, "No, fuck that. We're having him."
Fucking baffles my head.
So
We can't afford.
But I don't understand why
you can't
we
tell
don't
me that
want
there's
to sign
only
him.
one midfielder.
This is what I mean.
you
This is the
Jude
point.
Bellingham
What
do-
baffles my head
They
is
love
even
Barella
if it's
though,
like
don't they?
Klopp always
It's not
says
gonna
like it's
come.
not about getting
Barella
a
is not
midfielder.
gonna come.
Nah, we won't. If Klopp was always saying we don't want to just get a midfielder, we want to get the right midfielder.
There can't just be one right midfielder in the whole world, though.
That's what I'm
There's
thinking.
got to be a 3 or 4 that you go, actually, I'd have any of them, but I'd rather him. Where's
him.
the option 2, 3, and 4?
Where's like why don't you? And if the finances are an issue, why don't you just loan in a player? I don't know why that's such a terrible idea.
Do you know what? They beat us in the Champions League final, Real Madrid, and I have to take my hat off and say, look at their transfer business, right? Cruz, Casemiro, and Modric, maybe the 3 best in the world, all in their 30s. So they've
They
replaced-
still
gone.
play at the top
all
level.
replaced
So
already.
they've gone Camavinga, Tchouaméni, Valverde. That's our midfield for when these lads go. But guess what? They're all still going to stick around for 2 years. So these lads that are coming through learn everything they can. So when their time is there, it's a
Exactly.
seamless transition. With us, it's like, oh, he's injured, chuck him in. Oh, he's injured now,
What's
get
enough to
him
keep
out.
us
we seem
competing?
to
like
just
there's
always
no
be one
midfield
short, don't we?
plan.
What's enough? It's always what's enough to keep competing. We don't get Real Madrid's heritage is based on being the best. Manchester United's true heritage is based on being the best. Barcelona, very similar thing. Bayern Munich, very similar story. PSG want to get to there. Liverpool are very similar to like Arsenal. We're bigger than them for sure, but in terms of the ambition, as long as we're competing, we are custy. And until people realise that's what the owners'
Is that on the owners or
are,
on Klopp though?
probably a bit of both. Realistically,
Because people are turning
honestly,
around and-
probably
I
a bit
think
of
the
both.
owners
You
more
don't see
so.
Klopp screaming at the rooftops to go out and get new
He
players.
signed
I
a
used to
new
stand there and
contract.
think Klopp's not getting these players,
Yeah.
but he's not making a push to get them.
But you need to realise, like, Klopp extends his contract from what we believe, didn't take a pay rise or anything.
Yeah,
I reckon if Klopp is a free agent manager tomorrow, and I include City in this, every single owner would be offering him a blank check to come and take over their team. And I'd even include fucking Man City in that.
I'd never sit
So
there.
you need to think, is it on Klopp? Klopp turned around saying last week, "What? It's just that we're not stubborn. If the right player's there, will we do it?" Is he covering up for the owners?
Yeah.
We don't know. But the fact that he's agreed to stay on made you think, maybe it is Klopp. Like we see him with Kanate, we'll wait to get the right player. We
It's
see him
not
with Van
Klopp's
Dijk,
money.
we'll wait
He
to get the
shouldn't
real player.
He should say, oh, it's not my money we're spending. Not that we want to waste money.
No, and
but
you've
he
got-
should
we've
be
got-
saying
I'm
to
sorry,
the FSG now, listen, look at the squad. We've got 12 injuries,
No,
mate.
no,
we need
no,
some money.
no.
We've
No,
got
no,
money
no,
to
no.
spend, but I don't know the reason why we don't spend. This
All right,
is the point.
here's the story. Here's the story. Klopp came into Liverpool Football Club when we were in disarray. Ever since he's won us every possible trophy that he can for this football club. He's got a lifetime contract with this football club, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
However, the one thing that I will say, Klopp's job isn't to appease to our expectations. It is to appease to the people that are paying him his wages, and those expectations are top 4, compete for the league, and compete for other competitions.
Is that it, though?
You say that's it. That's enough to still generate immense revenue to where your football club is self-sustainable year after year after year after year. So if you're FSG and you're thinking, right, we've got a man who can work miracles, we can do it on a very minimal budget in comparison
Why
to
would we
other
change
teams
that?
above and below us.
Yeah.
Why do we need to cater towards this when... Why are we going to spend an extra 80 million on a Jude Bellingham to win us a Champions League when we can get to the Champions League final without him? Why are we going to spend that
point,
much
yeah.
more to get this reward back. Let's minimalise the risk and let's maximise the opportunity that we've still got with the squad that we have. Klopp is there. So Klopp gets told, right, these are the financial targets that we have. This is why we're going to give you these players. And then they'll say, with the players that you've got, this is the targets that we want you to achieve. Minimum, we want this in the league. We want you to compete in other competitions. If you can do those things on a season-to-season basis, we're very happy. And Klopp goes, yes, sir, signs the contract, and then boom. So Klopp is doing more than his job because those same expectations that were originally just top 4 are now going towards the league because of what Klopp's done.
Yeah, James, but if Klopp wants some player, the PSG, they're going to buy him, man.
No, they won't.
Yes,
no, they won't.
Yes, lads.
No.
Yes.
No, but it's not as
He
easy
wanted
as that,
Luis
though,
Diaz.
Mario.
I want him. We sign him. Nunes with the same
I bet you
situation.
there's examples where I can prove you don't know Mario behind the scenes. I bet you there's examples like Nabil Fekir, that was a dodgy one.
We just
That was
don't
dodgy
like
to me.
to
he got
overpay
greedy.
players. This is the point.
I'm just saying, Mario, like I wouldn't be thinking that it's just Klopp. Like, listen, Klopp
Look,
could go to the board and say, I want this player. But if the board says to him, right, we want you to achieve this, and Klopp looks at the squad and think, all right, I can achieve that. They're not telling him to win the league, Mario. They're telling him to compete, which is why he's been doing that job very, very well over the seasons. They're not got. If they wanted to win league titles, we'd see Jude Bellingham in our team already. We'd see
It
Mateus
is a good
Nunes
point.
when Wolves went in and swooped him. We'd see fucking whatever forward that you want to get in that front line to replace Mane. You'd see Real Madrid type stuff, PSG type stuff. It's
We
just
are
the
not
ambition
that
isn't
kind
there.
of club that we spend money in that
But
way.
Mario, that's what you need to do to become the
This
best. So
is-
that's why I'm
this
saying
is
the
the good-
expectation is to just compete.
This is the good thing about Liverpool because we signed the right players.
Yeah.
We don't like to spend money for players that maybe, like we spend money for this, like the value of this
Yeah.
player is 30 million and we're going to pay him 80 million because we want him as Man City do, as like Real Madrid and
Yeah.
PSG and stuff like that. We buy the right players
But when
for
Klopp
the
goes-
right price.
But when Klopp
This
goes,
is
that's
the-
not going to work the same.
When
Mario.
Klopp goes is different point. I agree with you. I don't want to think one Klopp
But
goes
this is what I
because-
mean. Klopp is
Because
maximising.
I don't know what's going to happen then.
Yeah,
I
no,
agree.
No, Mario.
Let
what I'm
me
saying-
think
I
now
seen
with
you
Klopp.
after the match
No,
last
what
night.
I don't
Mario.
wanna
I'd be
think-
fearing for you.
What I'm thinking about,
Probably Steven Gerrard is going to come, which we all love him, but it's not the same. I mean,
No, he's Gerrard.
Klopp is God.
Steven Gerrard will never manage Liverpool. man.
Yeah, I don't think he will
no,
either.
come on, lads.
He won't. He won't. I'm
You
just
reckon,
telling
yeah?
you. Never.
That's a big
Just
shout.
the last thing
No.
before we move on, because that sounds like you've opened a lid there. Just
He
dead
won't.
quick
You
with
think-
Jurgen Klopp. Just dead quick with Jurgen Klopp. I just want to say I think he's maximising very minimalistic
Totally agree
expectations.
with that.
And that's why I'd never say like Klopp out or anything. Oh, it's Klopp's fault that he needs to get this player. His job isn't to go out there and say, I want this player or that player. His job, and the same with any modern day manager's job, is to maximise the players that they are given. That's why we've got board of directors, and that's why you don't see people like Harry Redknapp and Sir Alex Ferguson going all the way to fucking London to sign this player. It doesn't work that way no more. That's not Klopp's job. He's doing the job he needs to do. That's the sort of thing there. Steven Gerrard, though, that's an interesting one. I actually half agree. I don't think he'll probably become Liverpool
I don't
manager.
think he will.
I still believe in that he's going to come after Klopp.
Listen, I'll say one thing. If Gerrard has done enough to still be around Premier League football by the time Klopp's retired, you need to think FSG will be looking at the model and they will look to promote the best available. I can't see Gerrard being the best available manager at that time. I think the only way Gerrard manages Liverpool down the line is if it's a break glass in case of emergency situation where Klopp's
when
successor
Kenny came
comes
back
in.
or something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So look, just say let's say for argument's sake, right? Pochettino now is not doing anything. Say comes down the line, Klopp's retired and I'm off 2026, is it?
Yeah.
I'm out of here, lads. Thanks for the memories. Everyone's fucking crying their eyes out. We're all sobbing, heartbroken. All right, Pochettino comes in.
He's already, look, he's going already.
Mario, don't worry,
We get
that's not
to
happening.
say we get to Christmas and it's not happening. Pochettino stinking the gaff out. All right, let's
Lift the crowd.
let's get Gerrard in. We'll see the same shite now that we're seeing with Everton, even though they're talking about a fucking Tory who's Frank Lampard. That like he gets the club, he gets us,
Bollocks.
and that's what it'll be. I love Steven Gerrard as a player. I fucking idolised him.
But you can't mix the both.
Exactly.
No, yeah, exactly. It's
Just
two
because
different things.
just
yeah.
because he was.
Listen, we don't know what's going to happen in 4 years.
No, and that's the thing now. Alex
who
is
knows?
100% right.
Who
I'm
knows?
talking from right now. And again, he's at an Aston Villa team where it's still very new. He hasn't even had a full season to himself yet. Like he had last year, and he's coming up
His
to a year in
centre-back's
the
just
job.
been injured for 6 months. So
Centre-back
he's just bought
injuries.
for 30
Even
mil.
these big money signings, like, listen, yeah, Aston Villa have spent a lot of money, but they have spent a lot of money. Gerrard specifically hasn't gone, right, I'll have this player, and this player. He's still maximising what he's got. He's done sound. They were in a relegation battle when he came in. He kept them up, and he done really well by getting them to wherever he got them to. He won the league with Rangers as well. But if you say to me in 2 years' time, 3 years, 4 years, when Klopp leaves, who would I rather have? I think I'd rather have Pochettino quite comfortably than have Steven Gerrard. But again, I don't know. Mario, do you just not like Pochettino? Come on,
He's
he's
good
not
manager.
bad.
He's good
not bad.
manager.
Yeah.
But it's not for Liverpool for me.
No, I agree, but
It's
I'm
not
saying
that
out
class
of them
for
two,
Liverpool.
yeah, out of Gerrard and Pochettino, who would you rather choose?
Of course, Steven Gerrard.
So-
right
Not
now.
now.
Right now.
Yeah, okay.
Not now.
Okay.
In
What-
So
in a
do you
couple of
think-
years,
so
in
what's
3-4
Steven-
Gerrard
seasons.
has to do
What
well
does-
enough
Fine.
to even
Exactly.
still
This
be
is
in a
what I
job
mean.
for
So
4
what's
years.
Steven
What does
Gerrard
Gerrard
going
have
to achieve?
Exactly.
That gets them the job. That
Exactly.
gets them the Liverpool job. So he's at Aston Villa now. He's
Yeah.
already
He's
won the
doing,
league with
he's
Rangers.
doing
What
his
does he
own
do from
experience now in the Premier League.
Yeah.
He starts with Rangers. He started under Liverpool under 18, then Rangers.
Yeah.
So he's doing experience.
But he needs to
and
put
one
a resume.
one day he's gonna be the natural.
But what does he
After
need
Klopp.
to have achieved to get to that point? Is it a top 4
So
finish
right now, what he's achieved so far,
experience.
Mario,
He's doing experience in Premier League.
Mario,
he needs
what-
experience.
Yeah,
No, I know,
but
but he also
then
needs
you've
a
got to
resume.
start winning
One
stuff.
sec, he needs a resume with accolades on there as well, Mario. So right now his accolades is I spent a season and a bit at Rangers or 2 seasons at Rangers and I won a league title. I've now gone to Aston Villa. We finished like 15th or 14th. Based on that resume right now, you couldn't just say Steven Gerrard come to Liverpool.
At the
What's
moment,
he-
no.
No,
I
so
agree.
what's he going to do between now and the time that Klopp leaves?
I
that you
think-
will be good enough to say,
Okay,
right, you're the Liverpool
I get
manager?
your point. Probably in Europa League with Aston Villa.
Okay.
Probably top
taking
4.
So taking
Why
a
not
team
in
beyond their expectations.
if Steven Gerrard's getting better as a manager, probably in a couple of seasons he can go in the Champions League.
Yeah,
with
but I
Aston
think
Villa.
Gerrard's
Why not?
next job after Villa is going to be what determines.
Say if he stays at Villa though, and
Yeah,
he gets,
but for it-
say if
imagine-
he stays at Villa and then he gets the Europa League position by 2026, even just once, you're happy with him being the Liverpool manager.
But for,
Yes.
for
I will.
example, it
I
could
will.
be a case where
I will.
Gerrard probably makes 6th or 7th with Villa, and you just know that that's the ceiling. It's not.
Yeah.
Remember, Martin O'Neill was Aston Villa manager.
Yeah.
They was
Got-
like
got them
they
to
were
5th.
Yeah.
They were 5th most seasons, and they were like, "Look, I can't do anymore."
Yeah.
And what happens is you stay, you either fucking die a hero or live long enough to become the villain, and that's what happened with him. You get fucked out. Gerrard's next progression could be somewhere like Leipzig or Dortmund, who they're going, okay, we're going to take a chance on a young, exciting manager coming up, and we're going to give him a whirl. I just don't see the natural progression for Gerrard now as much
Because he
as
can't
the
go to
romance
another
of it
big
and all
6
it.
club, can he?
But the romance of it
Prem.
and all it is great.
Yeah.
That's look, the romantic in us always like imagine fucking Gerrard walking out as manager. I don't know. I haven't seen it so far. Maybe I'm being harsh, but
I think he's an okay manager.
Yeah.
I think some Liverpool fans are putting him in a category where he can be the, what's the word I'm looking for? Not the surpasser, like the person who like takes over after Klopp.
successor.
Successor after Klopp, or it's a case of like he's really, really shit. Like he's either one of those two
Yeah.
things. He's not in between. Whereas I think he's in between, and he should be. He's been a manager for a few seasons now. Listen to, I think he'll get to a Klopp level. No, because I don't think many people do, and I don't think it's a bad thing if you do that. Right now in Wales football, I think there's only one manager who can talk to Jurgen Klopp. Goes by the name of Pep Guardiola. Right now in this current moment.
Facts.
So that's sort of obviously Carlo Ancelotti based on resume and stuff as well. But I mean, just in terms of the consistency, the points tallies, I don't think there's many managers who are getting that level of consistency out of teams like Klopp and Pep. That's why I
They
would
got
say,
experience, lads.
no, but Mario,
They got experience 10,
even
15
experience.
years.
Yeah, but
This is
Harry
important in
Redknapp
football.
has experience and he's just an
Yeah,
okay
but this
manager.
is different points.
Neil Warnock has got
Harry
1,000
Warnock,
games.
even
Roy Hodgson has got
fucking died
experience.
for 3
But
points.
exactly. He's
What
got
I-
experience, but you wouldn't employ Roy
What I'm
Hodgson.
trying to say that we want to avoid the same mistake Chelsea did with Lampard.
Yeah.
Chelsea legends, massive player. He scored 200 or more goals. Okay.
They got him too soon. But
Exactly. And that was a massive
But
mistake.
you can't,
Mario,
if you're
even
Lampard,
with
you
that
don't
was a
say no
massive
to
mistake.
that job.
We tried to
At
avoid
any
that
point.
mistake with Gerrard. So give him time. Let's be like, give him time to be a manager in Premier League. He got experience. He needs to, to learn. He still needs to learn. He's 40 years old. So for the manager, 40 years old is young. He needs to learn in a couple of years, maybe 4, maybe even not after Klopp, maybe after the Klopp's successor after that. Maybe he's going to be Klopp, Gerrard, or after 10 years, I don't know. But I'm pretty sure that one day he's going to be a Liverpool manager. Maybe not after Klopp. He needs experience. This is the point. And I think he's going to be very, very good manager. Apart of that, he was probably the best football player in Liverpool history. Apart of that, of course, we love Gerrard because he was the best. The manager position is something different. And Lampard knows. Look, Lampard with Chelsea. When you think about Lampard as a Chelsea manager, what do you think? He was shite.
Yeah,
this is the point.
Another thing you need to factor in is how
he needs experience to be a great manager with the big teams.
How different football might be by
This
the
is the
time he
stuff.
gets the opportunity to be Liverpool manager.
I know.
Because to be honest with you, if you believe what you're hearing, like in regards to the Super League, and even though the Champions League is now real different now, under these new Champions League rules, this
Everything's
coefficient, it's kind of impossible for Liverpool not to be in that competition when it comes around in a couple of years. And
So that will come back. That's
and
not
that
gone
will,
away
like
at
you,
all.
going back to your point on Klopp, James, what's your objective? We just need to be in the fucking Champions League. If you challenge, you challenge. I reckon even that's what they tell him. Because,
will be.
Yeah, it will.
Because that's what
but
most
imagine we're
people are.
guaranteed that.
Yeah.
Imagine we're
remember-
guaranteed
do you
that.
remember
no matter
the
what,
first season?
That
I
takes.
wouldn't
It's a good point. It's a good point.
It-
That'd
it's
be
go-
so shit.
Did you remember the
That's
first
the
season
way
of
it's going, James,
Guardiola
unfortunately.
with Barcelona? The first season, he was a player. Then he went to manage Barcelona. You remember the first season, 2008, 2009. He won every single trophy.
6 trophies.
6 trophies in the
Yeah.
first season
And he
as a
fucked-
manager.
And he fucked Ronaldinho out as well. But Pep's special.
Okay,
Pep is special.
but he wasn't a good player. I mean, he was a good player,
Yeah, he was a very good player.
but he wasn't a world class player.
Yeah, but that's there you go.
But he was a leader, same like Gerrard.
Yeah, but
he was a leader in. I mean,
I'll tell you
Yeah,
what,
but
it's
tactically-
easier.
I think to be a good manager,
Mario.
you have to be a proper leader.
It's easier to be a world class player than it is to be a world class manager.
I think I agree with that.
Well, yeah,
I agree with that point. Yeah.
No, it is because
Yeah.
it's like 1% of people in England become a footballer. 1% of the people who make it to an academy actually make it to being a footballer. And then think about how many players there are, and then think about
How many managers there are.
jobs
managers
there
there
are.
are.
Exactly.
So the chances
No, I
of that is even crazier. So for Gerrard to get to that level, yeah, they have similar things, but as we know in football, 2 + 2 is never the actual answer.
Exactly.
That's the thing about footy. So it's a tough one. Should we be looking on wrapping up?
Yeah, so before we do that, I want to talk about the Man United game on Monday. Obviously, a 7-day break now for Liverpool to regather their thoughts. We've had a 7-day break before that. May have been even longer, maybe 8 or 9 days.
9 days.
What are your predictions for the United game? Scores, players, what's
I
going to
hate this
happen?
question.
And also, when you look at United, they've lost their first 2 games. We've drawn our first 2. If we had won our first 2 and they'd have lost, I would be sitting here, the most comfy man in the world, talking about we're going to get 4 or 5 or 6 at Old Trafford. Shioni made a great point last night. We don't want to go to Old Trafford needing to win. It would be
we
nice
do.
to win there, of course, but we now need to win. So it's turned from a game that we can rock up, stink the place out. They will be leaving after half an hour, 3 or 4-0, like the old time, like last season. But now it's like, and their fans know that we need the win, and their players and the manager know that we need the win. So I think we could see a different performance from United, one that isn't totally shit.
Defo, well, again, it's another week with their manager. That's never a bad thing to have another week with your new manager. And the players are settling into a new system. The manager's going to notice a lot of things from that Brentford game, so he's going to make a lot of changes. We're going to definitely see a better Man United than what we saw at Brentford. And we're
Because they have to win that game as well.
And what's
They
crazy,
have to win that.
What's crazy, we're most likely going to see a better Liverpool in that game as well. I still think we'll win, but
I just don't want us
like
to draw
everyone,
the game
like
after.
everyone who's been making the points,
We will
it's-
see a different Liverpool for me as well.
I agree. It's just we can't be going into that game thinking we are going to batter them 4-5
No, we
because we're still early in the season.
That's
You
if
just
they don't
know.
fucking dig the pitch up the night before the game and it
Tell
gets
me.
called off, because I wouldn't put
That's
now.
what they're threatening.
You need to
call the game
realise
off.
how toxic it is there.
It's
It
the
is,
most-
no,
it's
and
the
that's
most
why I still
toxic
think
I've
we're going to
seen
win.
it.
That's why I still think, because however bad you think us drawing 2 games in the Premier League is, their situation
It's
is
way
100
worse.
They are literally
million
Way
times worse.
bottom of the league.
Yeah.
doesn't get any worse for them right now.
Yeah.
There's not many things
Well,
that
it
could
does.
happen.
He could
No, yeah,
growl up and
literally
get
could.
smashed
It
on
could
Monday
actually
night.
get so much.
They're-
He could
they're
get
linked to
relegated.
Jamie
I think from-
Vardy
Go into
today.
From one
obscurity.
point of view,
But
for
I
them
get
it's
you, bro.
better because they're gonna play without pressure because nothing to lose for
That's
them.
what I mean.
you know.
It's like a cup final for them in a way.
Exactly, nothing to lose. If we're gonna lose the game, of course, we lost the previous two. So they're gonna play like maybe mentally more free from us, because we need to win that
Jeez,
game.
I can't just mentally free and
Not
Harry
mentally
Maguire
free.
don't go into equation.
No,
It's just
mentally
doesn't-
free, not. But for them, it's like a final.
We're under more pressure than we should be going there.
We got more pressure for them. That's the point. I think.
We should fucking beat them, though, let's be honest.
Wish.
They are.
Right,
We
I'm
must.
just saying it now. I think we're
must.
going to beat them. Does everyone agree?
We will. We will.
Yeah.
We will.
We have to.
But it's
not
gonna
we
be
will,
tough
we
game.
got to, mate.
It's gonna be tough.
If we don't win that one, then I would.
Well, it's either we will or we won't. So what do you think we will?
We will. But I'm saying if we don't, I
will.
think that's when you rule us out the title race. It sounds mad.
Oh, yeah.
but
I think if we... weirdly
we lose
enough,
that
I agree.
game,
I
bro.
think
Drop
if we
point,
drop...
yeah, but what's
I
the...
think if we lose this game, I think if we draw, we still have a glimmer of hope. Like one finger left on the cliff. But if we lose, then
It's just the
that
third
finger's
game.
over. It's all right, Mario. Don't worry, Mario. You've got a great hair.
It's just the third game,
of
lad.
Nunez.
Even if we lose that game, it's not gonna happen. But we've got another 35 games to play.
Yeah.
Why we need to give up?
Yeah, and with this City team, we'll need to win probably
34 of them
two
to win.
because
Do
they're
you know
good.
that
City,
fella?
they're not
do you know
gonna win every game. They can do it.
Do you know in
lads.
the Arsenal
can, though.
documentary before we wrap it up yet? Do you know when Mikel Arteta went over the fella and was like, give these a prep talk? And he was like,
I
I
love
fucking
this
love
club,
Arsenal.
honestly.
I fucking love Arsenal.
out there.
Get Mario to be that fella for us. It's like, listen, boys, we need to just go out and smash them.
Bro.
We need to go out and smash them,
What would you
boys.
say? Let's imagine you're at training this morning. We can all
And you've
imagine
got to
what
have a
Klopp
speech
is
to the
saying
boys.
to the players. He's going, look, lads, that was shite last night. I've got a special guest that's going to come in and talk to you to get you G'd up for this Man United game. Mario comes in. What do you tell them?
I would
You
say
have
to
30
them.
seconds to
I
talk
would-
to every player.
I would say to them to be positive. To
Say where the players speak to
Yeah,
us like as
look,
if
you've got 30 seconds. Go. Look
give
at
me
us. tell
pressure
her.
like that.
Yeah,
Come on.
it is pressure. This is real
Eat the
life.
pressure. Bro, the first thing,
Here we go.
when you start to support Liverpool, the first thing in the life, which one is it? You have to be positive. You have always to believe. That's the first point. So when you play for Liverpool, when you have the live beat upon your chest, you have always to believe. You have. It doesn't matter. Okay, you draw against Fulham, you drop 4 points. That's the point. Okay, of course it's gutted, but Man United game is always special. It's a different. It's same like in Italy, Roma Lazio. It's different league. It's different game. So.
Keep it up,
Forget
Mario.
about
I'm
what's
gonna-
happened in the last two games. It's a proper war. You go against Man United,
Come
you
on,
have
Mario.
to fucking
Come
smash
on.
them.
Mario, I'm gonna...
That's it.
Mario,
I'm saying,
I'm gonna turn
This
this
is the
place
point.
upside down.
Oh, no, anyone for you.
Let's do some push
I don't want to analyze the tactics stuff, the stuff like that. We go get to the pitch and fucking destroy them.
Get out, 2 feet off the lash.
We're going to the final. We fucking score everything.
think-
We're going to the final. Come on, once.
Like Rocky Balboa. That's the point.
Fuck off.
Jacob,
Sorry,
fucking-
Jacob.
what fucking
I'm not
potential we
Klopp
got in
to
this
analyze
studio
the
today?
tactic. I
That
don't
is
give
how
a
you
shit.
end the podcast, man.
I
was
want
gonna
to win,
say-
that's it.
On
Vamos,
that note,
Mario. Forza.
Corazon, fucking hell. Corazon.
Coliones. Big fat coliones.
Cojones.
Cojones,
I'm
muy
ready for
grande.
fight now. Come on.
Yeah, that's it. I'm
Let's
ready
all have
to
a
fully
scrap
have beef.
outside.
Let's go on to Stanley Road and show them what we've got.
Get down, Scotty Road, and cause them here to laugh. Anyway, before we sign off, I didn't do it at the start. We've got to do it at the end. A massive shout out to Flux.
To Flux and
As
Eno.
always, the boys
Keeping us
are
warm
helping
throughout
us
the show.
put these podcasts together. They're doing a great job. They are in L1 stores as of next week.
Go and cop the club. Also,
Cop
you
the
supporting them will most certainly
Knackered.
be you supporting us as well. And they do, like, literally, they get us this studio sorted
man.
and
Big
stuff
up
like
to
that.
Flux.
They're massive. So please do go and support them. The link in the description.
Link in the description. There's still a 15% sale online on their website, so make sure that you go via our link to use that.
Yeah.
But do you know what? We started off quite negative, depressed, gutted from last night.
And now we're fired up.
But yeah, after that,
Bring
split,
it
We
on.
need to be
I'm
positive,
ready.
lads.
I'm
Always.
ready.
I wanna say as well,
Always.
I'm going to Darwin Nunes, the first fella I see. outside. Gear up.
By the Tesco.
Bang.
Bang. Straight. What do you want? If you any change, bang. Gear
Too
up.
far, Tony. Too far.
Nah, I was
Love
just going to
it.
say as well, gents, it was a pleasure.
So,
having you both
so
on.
sorry, tell me your point. if
for
if we're gonna lose against United for you, the season is over for us.
Maybe. But I'll have
Madre
to-
mia, hermano.
No, Mario, come
Relax,
on.
hermano.
Mario, ciao.
Please.
You know what I mean?
Ciao.
Ciao.
Anyway,
Mario,
listen, what an episode that was, eh?
I was going to say, I want to say thank you to Jacob as well. What a
Yes.
legend. Putting up
As
with us
always.
every single
Yes,
week.
Jacob, lads.
He's the man who
Jacob,
creates
lad.
the action.
We have to start the podcast mentally now, Jacob. Okay? We press the button very strong, okay, today. Have a great fucking night. Okay, anyway, I'm sweating now. We need to finish this.
My name's
Hot
James.
Topics,
as well.
episode 38. Massive shout out to Shawnee all the way from Ireland. He's
Cheers for
back
having me
again
on, lads.
in a couple weeks.
Pleasure.
Mario,
actually.
as always, the passion.
Corazon.
Corazon. And James, obviously, as always, giving us that insight. The voice of
Boss, lads.
Kirkdale. Is that fair?
I'll aspire to be a bit bigger than that.
Fuck
but
the
for now,
monarch.
for now. We'll take
Right,
it.
massive shout out to you if you've stayed with us for the whole hour. We really appreciate it. Make sure you like the video because it helps us massively more than you know. Get us to
Subscribe.
25k. That's just, I'm not going to mention that again. And subscribe if you haven't already. Go and follow the
Check
firm
out the
as well.
fan cams.
Check out the fan cams from last night. Lots of passion.
All of us were on there.
Everyone was on it. We had a full house
And I
last
guess Man
night at
United said
Anfield.
we're gonna do the vlog.
Yes. Don't worry about that. Right. We'll see you next week. Take care.
Peace.
Up the fucking Reds.
Mama!
You wanna fight with me?
Thanks for watching the video, guys. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe to the Kop TV, the voice of football's most famous stands, for a lot more Liverpool content.
Remember to check out our Shopify store for this beauty and much more. It's the new Luchito's Way Diaz t-shirt based on Luis Diaz and Carlito's Way. It's out now, designed by Ruby.
And there's going to be so many more.
There is. Make sure you're involved. Go and buy this now and use the Kop TV 15 for a little discount if you want.